कि the world says guru धारण करने दी लोड़ नहीं, दिल साफ हो जाए बस. You just need to have a clean heart. You don't need a guru. You don't need to do all these religious things. But the question here is, दिल साफ किद्दां होवे? ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਮਾੜੀ ਕਰਮਾਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ, ਕਾਲਾ ਦਿਲ ਆ ਸਾਡਾ, ਦਿਲ ਸਾਫ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋਵੇ? That's the answer. ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਨ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਹਉਮੈ ਦੂਰ, ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਵਸੇਗਾ, ਸਦਾ ਹਾਜ਼ਰਾ ਹਜੂਰ, ਫਿਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਸਾਫ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਵਸਦਾ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਖੋਜਤ ਭਏ ਉਦਾਸੀ, I've come to this, I've come to this world, I've let go of my family, of my household to search for Gurmukh. Darshan ke thai pekh nivasi, I've come to have the darshan of Paramatma and darshan of those saints who too can have darshan of Paramatma. Saach vakhar ke hum ban ja rahe. The business that I do is only of truth and nothing else. Nanak Gurmukh taras pare. ਤੇ ਪਾਰ ਕਿਦਾਂ ਉਤਾਰਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ? ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਬਣ ਕੇ। ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਜਨਮ ਲਿਆ, I've taken this birth, on top of that I'm a Sikh of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. What exactly am I doing with my life? Am I actually doing what Guru Nanak Dev Ji told me to do, the very reason Guru Sahib had to come to this world? Am I doing exactly that or the complete opposite? Then it will mean a lot to celebrate Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Guru.
Only when we have love for something or for someone, only then we will go all out to make that person happy. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another episode of Sikhan Di Bhagat Mala, where we explore the lives of Gursikhs from the time of Guru Sahib. And today we are exploring the Sakhi of 3 Gursikhs who were the Sikhs of Guru Angad Dev Ji. So Bhai Gurdas Ji in Var 11, Pauri number 15, they say, Deepa Deu Narayan Das Bulle De Jaiye Balahari. They speak about 3 Gursikhs, Bhai Deepa, Bhai Narayan Das and Bhai Bulla Ji. So what is their story? So Bhai Deepa Ji, Bhai Narayan Das Ji and Bhai Bulla Ji, they came to the Sharan of Guru Angad Dev Ji and they did a beinti. They said, Sache Pacha, please tell us something that we can do to help us break the cycle of life and death. So as we know, Sangat Ji, everyone us here, we are in the cycle of 84 lakh June, the cycle of life and death. When we die, we get reincarnated to another June, we die again, we take birth again, and so on. Now the idea is, in the human form is the only life that we have in which we can break this cycle of life and death. And how can we do that? Guru Angad Dev Ji is going to answer the question. So Guru Angad Dev Ji answers it in one simple line and they say, you need to remember Waheguru and do bhakti. So the 3 Gursikhs, they looked at each other and they said, Paramatma, remember Waheguru Ji, do bhakti. Guru Angad Dev Ji, please explain to us how can we do bhakti and remember Waheguru. So now Guru Sahib speaks about how the creation came about and how does it lead to bhakti. So Guru Sahib says, when Paramatma created this whole creation, the universe and so on, Paramatma also created something called Maya. So Maya is basically the feminine Shakti of Akal Purakh Waheguru. So if we take Akal Purakh Waheguru, Purakh as the masculine energy, from it came Maya, which is the feminine energy. Then from Maya, the whole Sansar, the Jeev came about. So Akal Purakh created Maya and Maya then created the whole Sansar. And what Maya did, Maya's job, Akal Purakh directed Maya that its job is to create an illusion that the whole world, the people, the Jeev cannot see Waheguru. So what Maya had done is, it created the Sansar and it put a parda. Think about it this way, that it created a whole world and it put like a cloth over it. So that the world, the creation, us Jeev Atma, we cannot see beyond Maya and see the truth. The true one who actually created us is Akal Purakh Waheguru. Now Maya we might sometimes get mistaken that Maya could mean this, could mean that. So if we look at Mahan Kosh, which is our dictionary by Bhai Kan Singh Nabha, there are few meanings of Maya. So number one, Maya could mean mother. Maya could mean wealth, Tana Daulat. Maya could mean ignorance or deceit or dubada. And Maya is also known as Ishwar Di Shakti, which is Jagata Rachana Da Karan. So this translates to Maya is the Shakti, the feminine power of Paramatma, which is the cause of the creation to come about. So when this creation has come about, now there's an illusion. Maya created an illusion so that people, the whole Jeev, the world, does not realize who they are, why they are here, and what is the aim of their life, which is basically to go back to Kalpurak Waheguru. Out of all of this, sometimes what happens is within that illusion of Maya, if you look at that cloth, imagine that there are small holes in that kapda of illusion. And sometimes certain people, due to good karma, good karam and kirpaa from Waheguru, they are able to see through those holes and realize that all of this is just an illusion. And now for those people, for those Jeev Atma, to help them to get back to Waheguru, then Guru Sahib will help them, which is giving them a few mediums or means for them to do bhakti. So you see these three Gursikhs, Bhai Deepa Bhai Narayan Das Ji, they are those who have actually seen through the illusion of Maya, and now that's why they're asking this question, how can we break this cycle of life and death? So the four methods to get back to Kalpurak Waheguru is number one, Bairag, number two, Jog, number three is Gyan, and number four is Bhakti. So Bairag is basically detachment, which means that now you know that this world is just an illusion. You are detached from it. You still live within it, but you're not attached to it, or you don't see your reality based on this world. Number two is Yog. Yog basically means the practices or the means that you do, the things that you do in your life to make sure that it helps you to get back to Waheguru. So your lifestyle, your rahat. And then Gyan means wisdom. So basically knowing about yourself, learning about Waheguru, learning about Atma and Paramatma. And finally the fourth one is Bhakti. So Bhakti means meditation, remembrance of Paramatma. Now Guru Sahib says that out of these four, three of these are masculine nature and one is feminine in nature. So we have Gyan, Yog and Bairag, which are masculine in nature. What does it mean? It means that anyone who uses this method of Gyan, who tries to learn about Atma and Paramatma, or who tries to do Yoga, which means life practices, Rahat and so on, or who wants to be detached from this world, they can still be affected by Maya. Now, we have seen many Sakhya, which is these are true in cases. So, for example, we have seen yogis or siddhas, even during the time of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they have been doing bhakti, they have been doing yoga and these practices for many hundred years, but still haven't attained Brahm Gyan or Mukti. Because why? There is still a bit of subtle home left in them. So even those who are Bairagi, who have been detached from the world, sometimes what Maya can do is bring them back to being attached to this world again. So through children or wealth or spouse or fame. And then we have Gyan. Gyan, when we tend to have a lot of Gyan, sometimes we get proud of our Gyan, and then we look down on those who do not see the truth. So yet Maya can still influence those who are walking in this path. But Bhakti is feminine in nature, and because Maya itself is feminine in nature, it does not have any impact on those who do Bhakti, those Bhagats of Paramatma. So we have heard Sakhya of all the Bhagats, even in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. They have different lifestyle. They come from very different backgrounds, even kings, beggars, and those of the lowest caste we have seen. But because they have done Bhakti of Waheguru, they were not able to be touched by Maya in any form. So now, what is Bhakti and what are the types of Bhakti that we can do? So Guru Angad Dev Ji now speaks about 9 types of Bhakti that we can do in order to get back to Kalpurak Waheguru. Now this depends on the kind of prem that we have for Paramatma as well. So the 9 types of Bhakti are: number 1, Sarvan. Sarvan means listening to the praises of Waheguru Ji, of your beloved. which means through katha, through kirtan, or you hear someone speaking, telling a sakhi of Guru Sahib and their Gursikhs, so sarvan, sunana. Number 2 is kirtan. Kirtan means to sing. You yourself sing the praises of Waheguru Ji through katha, through kirtan, or telling a sakhi to someone. So the love, they are inspired to love Guru Sahib just the way you love Guru Sahib as well. And number 3 is Simran. Simran means remembering your beloved. So for us, our Isht is Paramatma, is Waheguru Ji. So remembering your beloved through Simran, through meditation, whichever mantra that you are connected to. So we have been blessed with Waheguru mantra. We have been blessed with Mool mantra, Gur mantra. So these mantras, use them to remember Waheguru Ji. Then the 4th type of bhakti is Pad Sevan. So Pad Sevan is to always be ready at the feet of our beloved to serve them. So when we speak about physical seva of Guru Sahib, when we speak about physical seva of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, always Hazar Nazar there in case Guru Sahib needs something. Then we have Archan. Archan means to worship our beloved. So when we do Aarti, when we sing Kirtan, when we do Chaur Seva, when we give Guru Sahib a gift, a rumala, a peta or something. Then we have Bandana. Bandana means to bow at the feet of our beloved. Then we have Das Pav. Das Pav means to become the servant of your beloved, of Paramatma. So when we do Seva of Guru Sahib, when we are always there, Hazar Nazar in the Darbar of Guru Sahib, when we are ready to do Seva of Guru Sahib, ready to do Seva of the Sangat who comes and have darshan of Guru Sahib. Then we have Sakhapan. Sakhapan means to have that friendship kind of relationship with your beloved, with Guru Sahib. So you have your most deeper secret conversations with your Guru. You speak to your Guru every day. Any problems, any issues, any joy, any sorrow, you speak and communicate to your Guru. And you treat your Guru as how you would treat your friend. So Guru Sahib then becomes the center of your life. Everything you do, you want to do with your beloved. And then the 9th one is Atma Nivedan. Atma Nivedan means complete surrender to your beloved, to Waheguru Ji, which means that whatever happens in my life, I do not want to be the one who decides for it. I leave it everything to Waheguru Ji to decide how my life should be or what should be the outcome for it. Or if anything happens, it is all because of Guru Sahib. If I get dukkha, if I get sukha, it is all within hukam. So Atma Nivedan means complete surrender to your beloved, to Waheguru Ji. Now, above all of this bhakti is something called Prema Bhakti. Now, Prema Bhakti is loving devotion. Now, Sangat Ji, Gurbani says as well, Jin prem kiyo tin hi prabh payo. Now, what does it mean? Only when we have love for something or for someone, only then we will go all out to make that person happy. Now, if you have a spouse, you are in love with your spouse. Now, what would you do? You will go all out to make sure your spouse is happy. And if your spouse is unhappy about something, then you will try to correct your mistakes or correct the situation. So if we have love for Guru Sahib, if we have love for Guru Granth Sahib Ji, for Waheguru Ji, and we really want to become one with Guru Sahib, only then we will put in the effort of doing kirtan or listening to kirtan or doing seva, giving something to your Guru, doing bandana to your Guru. Only then we will have the cha, the excitement, the joy to do these kind of bhakti. Otherwise, if we don't have the prem for Guru Sahib, then we would just see Guru Granth Sahib Ji as another pothi on the takhat. There's no relationship. We don't have the eyes to see Guru Granth Sahib Ji as the pratakh roop of Guru Nanak Dev Ji sitting on takhat. We need to have the eyes as how Baba Nand Singh Ji had the eyes to be able to see Guru Nanak Dev Ji through Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We need to have the kind of surti, the kind of prem that Sant Atar Singh Ji had when they had the bairag in them that I want to have darshan Guru Gobind Singh Ji. That is a kind of love we must have, the tang we must have within our heart. Only then when we call out to our beloved, when we priyo karke, we call out to our beloved, then why wouldn't Guru Sahib listen to us? So Guru Angad Dev Ji says that if you want to break the cycle of life and death, which means that you want to be able to see through the illusion of Maya and know what Maya truly is and what Maya is doing, then you'll be able to see past Maya and recognize ki actually the one who created everything, including Maya, is Paramatma. And then when you realize that, then what would you do is you would want to trace back, now start removing all those things that does not help you towards becoming one with Waheguru, and start doing those things that helps you to get to Waheguruji. So your life will start changing, your lifestyle will start changing. And Guru Sahib says that is through Bhakti. So through Bhakti can we break the cycle of life and death and become one with Waheguru, which means we don't have to come into the cycle of reincarnation, the 84 lakh June anymore. So this was how the three Gursikhs, they listened to the bachan of Guru Angad Dev Ji, practiced it, the Bhakti, the 9 types of Bhakti, and then they were also liberated. So Sangat Ji, this is a valuable lesson for us. Now, as Sekhar, the way we connect to Guru Sahib is very different. The way I do Bhakti is different from the way you do Bhakti, and it does not mean that one is right and the other is wrong. It is basically what really matters is how much love we have for our Guru Sahib. So someone could be doing chore seva for 5 hours, and that's their way to show their love and do Bhakti towards Guru Saaheb Jee. And someone could come with just one small flower and do arpan in front of Guru Saaheb Jee. That's because it doesn't matter the value of it, it doesn't matter the size of it, but it matters the intention behind doing that form of Bhakti. And all you could know is Guru Sahib could be so happy to see that small little flower that you brought out of love for Guru Sahib. So any form of Bhakti that we do, it's very important that the utmost thing we must have is prem. It must contain love. Otherwise, then it's just something that we do out of ritual. So इतने के बेनतियां परवान करनिया पुला चुका निखिमा वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह.
The fantastic thing about enlightenment is that you can never know that you're enlightened. And you can never say that you are enlightened, because in order to say that you're enlightened, you say, I am enlightened. And I am is the temporary self. The temporary self can never be enlightened. So it is always the non-I am that is the enlightened. And that within the Gurmat tradition has been referenced as you, the bigger you with a capital Y, the greater you, the oneness. So all the language of positivity has been attributed to this oneness, that you are the enlightened and I am the non-enlightened. And people have read Gurbani and used the wisdom to create a duality, saying there is the I am, there is me, and then there is a God somewhere else. So we even have shabads like Hum papi tum pap khandan. Yeah, Madho hum aise tum aisa. I'm like this and you're like that. I'm the sinner, you're the destroyer of sin. I'm good and you are bad. And people have used this to try and convince us that this is a very dualistic system. We're a monotheistic religion. There is us, the sinners, and then there is God, the enlightener. But I don't understand it in that way. To me, what that is saying is when I am in the state of me, when I am in my own individuality, that is the sin that I am in. And when I'm in the state of non-individuality, when I'm in my connected universal self, that is when I am in this state of non-sin. So the sin is being in your ego, in your own identity. The non-sin, the escape from sin, the escape from disease, from trouble, is being in this non-sense of self. But as soon as you're in the non-sense of self, you can't attribute that to your individual self. So you cannot say, I am enlightened. So the Gurus never said that I am the messenger of God, I am the son of God. If you want to know God, you have to come through me. None of that language exists. Because they understood that the me is the individual. Now, this is not to say that if Christ said those things, that Christ was wrong. I don't believe that. I believe Christ was an absolutely enlightened being, no greater or lesser than anyone else. But Christ, if that is the word that Christ used, and I think that's a big if, because I don't believe that the modern versions of the Bible represent exactly what the language is that was used in the original Bible, and we don't actually have anything that Christ wrote down himself. So if that was what Jesus had said, then he was not wrong in saying that, because he was not talking from his individual self. He's talking from his connected self. Come to me, come through me, I will give you the answer. I am the way. That's not to say I, me, the individual. It is to say that I have found the technique to lose this I and connect with this God. This God who is in heaven, but heaven, I think, was part of him. I am in the kingdom of my Father. So I think Christ, if he used those words, was not wrong in using those words. It was just his way of explaining it. But the gurus have used a very different technique. They never attributed or spoke about their own enlightenment. What they have said was that I have experienced something and I know it to be an absolute truth. It is an absolute truth regardless of whether you know it or not. We have Barneys from the Bhagats and verses from the other saints who have said that I don't care if anybody can see this or not. I'm telling you this is an absolute fact. But again, it's not about their own individuality. It's not about their enlightenment, but it is about the truth that they have known and seen and are just desperate to share with it with as many people as possible.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਡੇ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਸੁਪੁੱਤਰ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਹਾੜੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੁਝ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਿਓ ਜੀ। ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਫਾਰਸੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਬਾਦਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਪੁੱਤਰ। ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਬਾਦਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਬਾਦਸ਼ਾਹ ਹਨ, ਇਸ ਲਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੁੱਤਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ ਆਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਜਨਮ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਕੁੱਖੋਂ 14 ਦਸੰਬਰ 1699 ਈਸਵੀ ਨੂੰ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿਖੇ ਹੋਇਆ। ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ ਸਨ। ਉਹ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਆਗਿਆਕਾਰੀ ਸਨ। ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਨ। ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਲਾਡਲੀ ਫੌਜ ਨਿਹੰਗ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੋਢੀ ਵੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਵੱਡੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਟੋਲੀਆਂ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਜੰਗ ਕਰਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੇਡਾਂ ਖੇਡ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ। ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਵੀ ਖੇਡਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਏ, ਪਰ ਵੱਡੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਖਿਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਜੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੇਡ ਸਕਦੇ। ਇਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਨ। ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਦਸਤਾਰ ਸਜਾਈ ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਆਖਿਆ, ਦੇਖੋ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹਾਂ, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਖੇਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈ ਸਕਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋਏ। ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਅਲੱਗ ਫੌਜ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਲਾਡਲੀ ਫੌਜ ਦਾ ਖਿਤਾਬ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਇਆ। ਬਾਬਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਕੌਤਕ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿਖੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸਨ। ਆਖਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਐਸਾ ਵੀ ਆਇਆ ਜਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਪਿਆ। 20 ਅਤੇ 21 ਦਸੰਬਰ ਸੰਨ 1704 ਦੀ ਰਾਤ 10ਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਦਾ ਕਿਲ੍ਹਾ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਹਾਕਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਗਊ ਕਰਾਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਖਾਧੀਆਂ ਕਸਮਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਵਾਅਦੇ ਭੁੱਲ ਕੇ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਭਿਅੰਕਰ ਹਮਲਾ ਬੋਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਉਸ ਵਕਤ ਸਰਸਾ ਨਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੜ੍ਹ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ। ਸਰਸਾ ਨਦੀ 'ਤੇ ਜੰਗ ਹੋਈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਜਥਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਵੰਡਿਆ। ਵੱਡੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ ਅਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਅਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਉਦੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਜੰਗ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਨ ਸੰਭਾਲੀ। ਘਮਾਸਾਨ ਜੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਪਾਸੇ ਭਾਰੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋਇਆ। ਇੱਥੇ 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹੀ 3 ਹਿੱਸਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੰਡਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਥੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੀ ਵਿਛੜ ਗਏ। ਉਸ ਯਾਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਿਛੋੜਾ ਸਥਿਤ ਹੈ। ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਤੋਂ ਵਿਛੜ ਮਾਤਾ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ, ਮਾਤਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ ਭਾਈ ਮਨੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਗਏ। ਮਾਤਾ ਗੁਜਰੀ ਜੀ 2 ਛੋਟੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਰਸਾ ਦੇ ਕੰਢੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਮੋਰਿੰਡੇ ਪੁੱਜੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਰਸੋਈਆ ਗੰਗੂ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਪਿੰਡ ਖੇੜੀ ਲੈ ਆਇਆ, ਜੋ ਉੱਥੋਂ 20 ਕੁ ਮੀਲ ਦੀ ਵਿੱਥ 'ਤੇ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸੀ। ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲਣ ਸਮੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ 1,500 ਸਿੰਘ ਸਨ, ਪਰ ਸਰਸਾ ਦੀ ਜੰਗ ਸਮੇਂ ਕੁਝ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਅਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਦੀ 'ਚ ਰੁੜ ਜਾਣ ਕਾਰਨ ਵਿਛੜ ਗਏ। ਸਰਸਾ ਨਦੀ ਪਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਤੇ 10ਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਲ 40 ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਸਿੰਘ ਅਤੇ 2 ਵੱਡੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ ਸਨ। ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਰਸੋਈਆ ਗੰਗੂ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਅਤੇ 2 ਛੋਟੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ, ਨੀਅਤ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਬੇਈਮਾਨ ਸਾਬਤ ਹੋਇਆ। ਉਸਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਮੋਹਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਥੈਲੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ, ਫਿਰ ਹੋਰ ਇਨਾਮ ਦੇ ਲਾਲਚ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੂਬਾ ਸਰਹੰਦ ਨੂੰ ਇਤਲਾਹ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਦਿਨ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰਿਫਤਾਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਜੀਦ ਦੀ ਕਚਹਿਰੀ 'ਚ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ। ਮਾਤਾ ਗੁਜਰ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ ਅਤੇ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੀ ਰਾਤ ਠੰਡੇ ਬੁਰਜ 'ਚ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਧਿਆਏ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ। ਭਾਈ ਮੋਤੀ ਰਾਮ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਦੁੱਧ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ। 3 ਦਿਨ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਚਹਿਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਸਲਾਮ ਕਬੂਲ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਕਈ ਡਰਾਵੇ ਅਤੇ ਲਾਲਚ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਗਏ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਦਕ ਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਡੋਲੇ। ਕਾਜੀ ਨੇ ਫਤਵਾ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਵਜੀਦੇ ਦੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਉਂਦੇ ਜੀ ਨੀਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਿਣਵਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਇਸ ਜ਼ੁਲਮੀ ਹੁਕਮ 'ਤੇ ਨਵਾਬ ਮਲੇਰ ਕੋਟਲਾ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਮੁਹੰਮਦ ਖਾਨ ਨੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਅਰਾ ਮਾਰਿਆ। ਸ਼ਹਾਦਤ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹਕੂਮਤ ਨੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸੰਸਕਾਰ ਲਈ 2 ਗਜ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਦੇਣ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਮਨ੍ਹਾ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਤਾਂ ਨਵਾਬ ਟੋਡਰਮਲ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ 'ਤੇ ਖੜੇ ਰੁੱਖ ਮੋਹਰਾਂ ਵਿਛਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਜਿਸ ਥਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸੰਸਕਾਰ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉੱਥੇ ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਜੋਤੀ ਸਰੂਪ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ। ਉਪਰੰਤ ਜ਼ਾਲਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਮਾਤਾ ਗੁਜਰ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸੀ ਸੰਖੇਪ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਬੋਲਦਿਆਂ ਜੇਕਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਭੁੱਲ ਚੁੱਕ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਮਾफ़ੀ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Tonight we're going to celebrate the life of Guru Gobind Singh. And it's a big life. It's a life that's filled the pages of our history, changed our world, and fills our hearts. And as you listen to this history, there's a lot of tragedy in it. But one thing that's important to remember is Guru's approach to his life and these experiences of his life. I wrote something on Gurmat's blog a little while back, and I referred to the tragedy that you see in his life. And one of the Sikhs wrote in to say that he didn't have that, he didn't experience that as tragedy because he wasn't a normal man. And I ran across a Saki of Guru Gobind Singh's that illustrated that. This was at a time after his 4 sons had died, and there was so much war and battle in the Khalsa that so many had been killed. And the Guru was celebrating. The Sikhs had come together at Damdama Sahib, and they were just, he was celebrating the fact that all of his Singhs had come together. And one of the Singhs came to him and said, "Don't you feel this pain in your heart that we've lost so much?" And the Guru said, "No, this is all the will of God, and my sons came to this world to leave in the way that they did. And the Singhs who fought and died came to this world to come and die." And the Singh said, "But Guruji, the loss has been in the thousands." And the Guru said to him, "This is true, but the gain has been in the millions." And so this story is about the gain.
Beginnings. The life of Guru Gobind Singh is a story of the birth of a spiritual nation, a nation without geographical boundaries, created with love and comprised of strong and righteous warriors willing to stand against tyranny and oppression. Guru Gobind Singh beams through history as a man of radiance and spiritual light, bringing the experience of God to the common man and restoring dignity to all people. Before his birth as Guru Gobind Singh, he was known as Rishi Dushdaman, high in the sacred mountains of the Himalayas, where the air is cold and clear. There is a secluded lake known as Sapat Sarang. At this holy place, the exalted Rishi Dushdaman sat in deep meditation, passing the ages in love of his Lord. The time came when the cries of anguish on earth moved the one God to such an extent that he called his most beloved to be born again on the physical plane. Very bluntly, the Rishi replied that he did not want to be reborn. He would rather spend his days in meditation. But God explained to him the need and showed him the plan, and the Rishi bowed humbly to the will of God. With the mission to protect the weak and destroy the tyrants who had gripped the world, the soul known as Rishi Dushdaman took birth as the great warrior Guru Gobind Singh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the ninth Guru of the Sikhs, traveled extensively to sustain and care for the Sikh communities that were spread all over India. He was traveling on his way to Bengal and Assam when his saintly wife, Mata Gujri, was blessed with child, and she could not continue with him on the journey. He left Mata Gujri along with her brother Kirpal Chand and his own mother, Mata Nanaki, in Patna in the eastern part of India in August of 1666, while he continued on his missionary tour. The Holy Child was born on the seventh night after the new moon, December 22nd, 1666. When the news reached Guru Tegh Bahadur, there was great rejoicing throughout the Panth, and he named the child Gobind Rai. Just as all children are reared in the laps of their mothers, the 10th Guru grew up as a precocious child, playing in the lap of Mata Gujri. Everyone in the city of Patna loved him, and the entire town was his playground. They called him Balapritam, the beloved child, and here he grew up in safety, far from the deadly politics of the Punjab. In spite of all the pampering and affection lavished on him in Patna, he missed his father and was anxious to be with him. Finally, when he was 7 years old, his father called for him and his family to return to the holy city of Anandpur Sahib, their family home in the north of India.
Anandpur. Home in Anandpur Sahib, Guru Tegh Bahadur took keen interest in Gobind Rai's education. He was given tutors in Gurmukhi and Persian languages and Sikh history. With great ease, he mastered each subject and excelled at everything he did. With his cousins and companions, he was trained in archery, horse riding, weaponry, and swordsmanship. After his daily routine studies, he played games of war with his cousins and friends. Bala Pritam knew the time would soon need persons who would have swords in their hands, the name on their lips, and love in their hearts. At the time, the Islamic armies of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb were occupying northern India. He was a cruel and fanatic ruler, and the people of India were terrified of him. In Kashmir, under the emperor's orders, the soldiers were converting Hindus by force. Accept Islam as their religion or die by the sword. The imperial viceroy of Kashmir carried out the policy vigorously, and blood ran like rivers through the land. The holy men in Kashmir came to Guru Tegh Bahadur and told their horrible story, imploring him to save their families and their faith. The Guru was deeply moved by the brutal injustice. Dharma is at stake, said the Guru. The Hindu people need a leader, a noble champion to oppose the emperor. Looking into his father's luminous face, Gobind Rai replied, Father, who is more brave and honorable than you? Guru Tegh Bahadur was astonished to hear this fearless answer. He asked the Pandits to go back and inform the Mughal emperor that Guru Tegh Bahadur would be their spokesman. If the Guru of the Sikhs was converted, then all Hindus would voluntarily accept Islam. In July, Guru Tegh Bahadur set off for Delhi with a handful of trusted Sikhs. Emperor Aurangzeb had the Guru arrested along the way and brought him to Delhi, where he was imprisoned and brutally tortured in a futile attempt to convert him to Islam. The emperor tried his worst, but the Guru did not abandon his own faith. After months of unspeakable torture, the stone-hearted emperor ordered the Guru publicly executed. On November 11th, 1675, at Chandni Chowk in Delhi, the Guru of the Sikhs was beheaded before a large crowd, giving his own life for universal freedom of religion. A fierce windstorm whipped through Chandni Chowk, plunging the streets into darkness. An earthquake violently shook the city and the crowd panicked. In that darkness and chaos, a brave Sikh, Bhai Jesspreet Singh, picked up the head of the Guru and slipped away unnoticed. With great love and sadness, he brought the head of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji to 9-year-old Gobind Rai. Foretelling the type of leader he was to become, Gobind Rai stood tall through his pain and loss. He blessed Bhai Jetta and honored him in the Sangat. The Sikh people were plummeted into unfathomable grief, and endless tears flooded the land.
Guru Gobind Rai. As the Sikh nation gradually emerged from mourning, they turned their attention to the inauguration ceremony of Gobind Rai, whereby he would become the next Guru of the Sikhs. On Baisakhi Day, March 29, 1676, the preparations were completed and the Sangat pulsed with anticipation. In a solemn ceremony before the entire Sangat, Gobind Rai became the 10th Guru of the Sikhs at the age of 10 years old. The Sangat roared with thunderous calls of victory, devotion, and love. Within months, Guru Gobind Rai brought joy and light to Anandpur, transforming the saddened city into a center of creativity, commerce, and optimism. News of the young Guru spread throughout the entire region, and people flocked to see him. Raja Bhimchand, a neighboring hill chief, was green with jealousy when he saw the beautiful bounty that the Guru brought to Anandpur. He took a public vow of aggression on the Guru and began making preparations to invade Anandpur Sahib. The news of impending war was cause for great concern. Most of the Guru's advisors were opposed to war because the Guru was still only 18 years old. Guru Gobind Rai had received an invitation from Raja Medni Prakash of Simur to come and stay as his royal guest. The Guru's mother and grandmother counseled him to leave Anandpur Sahib and visit the Raja, thus cooling the talk of war. So in 1685, the Guru's family made the journey to Simur in the foothills of the beautiful Himalaya mountains. The crisis with Raja Bhimchand had been postponed, but not avoided, as the black heart of Bhimchand still boiled with jealousy and the thirst for war.
Paonta Sahib. Guru Gobind Rai loved the mountainous regions of Sirmur. The rugged territory and the sweet vistas of the Himalayas suited his exalted nature. One summer day, when Raja Medani and the Guru were out riding, they came to a beautifully wooded area near the Yamuna River. he put forth a proposal that the Sikhs build a fort there, which the Guru readily accepted, and then the foundations of the fort of Paonta Sahib were laid in August 1685. Here in Paonta, on the banks of the river Yamuna, Guru Gobind Rai began building the strength and spirit of his people. As word spread throughout the Sikh nation, people poured into Paonta from all over northern India. The Guru invited poets from the various schools to Paonta, and the 52 poets regularly competed in verse and rhyme. As the devotees came, horses, elephants, riches, and armaments filled the fort of Paonta. A village sprang to life, and within a few months, Paonta became the center of Sikh life. The Guru spent his days meditating, writing, studying with his tutors, and the many saints and sages who visited him. During his days in Paonta, Guru wrote Jap Sahib, the song of the warrior saint. Weaving the different languages into 199 verses, the Jap Sahib describes God from every side, in both Nirgun and Sargun, the transcendental and the phenomenal aspects. The Guru tells us in the Mangala Charan, in the beginning verse, that by naming God, we come to know God. Succeeding waves of names and attributes roll one after the other throughout the entire Bani, reaching far beyond the rational faculty of man, deep into the realm of experience. But even still, he remembered the lesson he had learned at Anandpur Sahib, and with daily punctuality, he trained in the art of war. A few months later, Raja Bhim Chand, the same evil hill chief from Anandpur Sahib, was traveling with his son's marriage party on a journey to the bride's home in Srinagar. He had to pass through the region of Paonta on his way north. Bhim Chand saw this as an opportunity to destroy the Sikhs. He coerced the hill chiefs from the area to plot war against the Sikhs in exchange for the rich plunder of Paonta Sahib. At least 14 hill chiefs joined together with Bhim Chand as a united front against Guru Gobind Rai and the Sikhs. Paonta was in imminent danger of attack, and the Guru began preparations for war. Guru Gobind Rai knew that he was born into this world as a warrior and a defender of righteousness and freedom, so the news of war did not surprise him, nor did it cause him anxiety. Instead, he moved swiftly forward with preparations, gathering his young and unproven army for battle. In a booming voice, the Guru called out the Sikh battle cry, Sat Sri Akal, and rode forth to confront the enemy army. It is written that the hoofs of the Guru's horses, as they galloped away, raised such clouds of dust that obscured the sun, and the cheers of his men resembled the thunder in the stormy and rainy month of Savan.
The Battle of Bangani. The Battle of Bangani was fought on September 18, 1688. Surrounded by his generals and advisors, the Guru prepared to direct the battle. The Guru stationed his troops on the banks of a ravine which served as a natural rampart, forcing the enemy to fight uphill. For the Sikhs from the small fort of Paonta Sahib, who were vastly outnumbered and who had never experienced battle before, it was a fierce and frightening vista. The Battle of Bangani had lasted a total of 9 hours. As the last light of day left the plains, the bodies of fallen soldiers could be seen scattered throughout the field, and the ground was red and thick with blood. The enemy troops were gone completely, and the Sikhs of Paonta raised the cry of victory. After the Battle of Bangani, the fame of Guru Gobind Rai spread far and wide, and thousands of people flocked to Paonta Sahib for his darshan. In 1687, Guru Gobind Rai left the mountainous regions of Paonta Sahib to return with his family to Anandpur Sahib. At the age of 21, he had already proven himself as a poet, a patron of the arts, a leader of his people, and is a brave and talented commander in battle. During the next 10 years, Anandpur became the center of Sikh life. The Guru became the father of 4 beautiful sons, strong, brave, and wise beyond their years: Baba Ajit Singh, Baba Jujhar Singh, Baba Zorawar Singh, and Baba Fateh Singh. They learned the skills of a soldier, a saint, a scholar, and a statesman at the feet of their glorious father. Every evening they would gather their friends and practice the arts of swords and archery. Their father taught them the Sikh warrior ethics, that the sword should never be used in aggression, but only in defense, and that too, only as a last resort. As their skill grew, so did the love of their father, Guru Gobind Singh. Guru Gobind Rai secured the city with 5 forts and continued to train daily with sword and horse. During this time, the Guru wrote most of the Bani, which is now the Dasam Granth Sahib.
Vaisakhi, 1699. Terrible times were coming in the hands of the Mughal oppressors, and Guru Gobind Rai knew that something must be done to secure the religious freedom of the Sikhs. The farmers and the merchants of Punjab needed to be reborn as saint soldiers, strong and fearless. In 1699, Guru Gobind Rai sent out an invitation to his Sikhs to come to Anandpur for Vaisakhi gathering and to bring armaments to him as gifts. No longer did he consider gold and jewels as precious items of tribute. Instead, he valued the beauty of a strong sword, a straight musket, and a brave horse. In the spring of 1699, large numbers of Sikhs arrived at Anandpur Sahib and set up their camps and langar kitchens. More than 80,000 people had come to Anandpur Sahib, finding the Guru's personal invitation too enchanting to decline. Unlike any event that had gone before, the Guru strode out onto stage alone. He was powerful in his appearance. He was dressed in beautiful clothes, with garlands of jewels around his neck and a feathered plume in his turban. 2 powerful swords hung at his waist. His usually peaceful expression was gone, and a deep intensity penetrated his being. The fire of battle, Bir Ras, charged his every movement and radiated over the crowd, exciting the hearts of Sikhs. A hush fell over the crowd, and all eyes were riveted unto the unfolding drama on the stage. Unsheathing his sword and raising it to the sky, he called out,
"My sword is thirsty for blood! I want the head of a Sikh!"
No one moved, except some poetic response to this dramatic declaration. Nothing could be heard over the vast crowd but the clanging of horses as they shifted nervously on the side. Leaning forward and searching face to face, the Guru boomed in an unforgiving voice,
"I need a head! Who is willing to satisfy the calling of my sword?"
Dayaram, a shopkeeper from Lahore, startled even himself when he stood up and moved purposely to the stage. The incredible intensity in the Guru's whole body drew him like a magnet. His heart swelled and pumped so loud he could hardly hear his own voice as he replied, "Guru Sahib, my head is yours." Moving through the crowd to the stage, he climbed up and folded his hands before the Guru. Guru Gobind Rai took him by arm, and with a fierce glance over his shoulder, he led him to the tent. The crowd clearly heard the liquid thump of steel passing through flesh. Moments later, the Guru strode from the tent back onto the stage with his sword dripping with crimson blood. A gasp spread through the Sangat as the Guru walked to the very edge of the platform and raised the wet sword over his head and roared,
"I need the head of another Sikh! Is there any among you who will quench the thirst of my sword?"
The crowd fell stunned in silence. There was no mistake that the Guru was very serious, but his actions made no sense, and panic stirred in some people. However, one by the name of Dharmdas, Himmat, Mokam Chand, and Sahib Chand, one by one, fearlessly stepped forward, knowing full well what they were laying out for their lives. But now the Guru took a little longer in returning from the tent, and when he emerged, he walked slowly and calmly, with a bearing of mastery. Behind him walked the Panj Piare, the 5 beloved ones, dressed in beautiful bana of gold threads and resplendent turbans. Their faces glowed. Even their families could not recognize them, as these humble Gursikhs radiated the light of Guru himself.
The Khalsa. The Sangat was transfixed with awe, and many bowed their heads into the dust at the sight that was before them. With all faces turned toward him, the Guru then spoke to the crowd. These 5 beloved Sikhs are the Khalsa. Through the supreme test of faith, even at the sacrifice of their lives, they have become pure. You who are present here, and you who come in all the ages to follow, I call on you to join the brotherhood of the Khalsa. Through the purity of the Khalsa, the world shall be free, and the grip of the tyrant shall be broken. The crowd rose to their feet in cries of joy and victory. In a brilliant move of leadership, the Guru had transformed the Sikhs into the Khalsa, a spiritual nation that would never die. Taking a bowl of iron filled with pure water, the Guru knelt in Virasan and stirred the water with the double-edged sword. Mata Jito Ji came forward with cakes of sugar wrapped in her chuni. The Guru nodded as Mataji dropped the sugar into the water, adding sweetness to the power of the steel. The 5 beloved ones came forward, and from that Guru's hands they drank the Amrit, uttering the new greeting of the Khalsa brotherhood. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. The Khalsa belongs to God, victory belongs to God. To the astonishment of all who had gathered, Guru Gobind Rai came forward and knelt before the 5. He said, I also seek to be baptized at your hands and into the fold of the Khalsa. You have given your love to me. Now I give mine to you. Baptized by the Panj Piare, Guru Gobind Rai transformed his magnificent self to Guru Gobind Singh, merging his identity forever with that of the Khalsa. Nearly 100,000 people took Amrit in the days that followed, and the Khalsa spiritual nation was born. The Mughal rulers in Delhi looked with fear and disapproval on what was happening in Anandpur. The Sikhs were growing in strength and numbers daily as the population, who had been living under suppression for 200 years, flourished until the protection of the Khalsa. Emperor Aurangzeb feared that the Guru and his Khalsa would threaten his tyrannical rule in northern India. He commanded that his generals put an end to the Khalsa and raze the city of Anandpur.
The Battle of Anandpur. The first attack on the city was in 1695, but between 1700 and 1704, the Sikhs successfully fought one battle after the next. The Khalsa became a brave and moral fighting force against the tyrannical Mughal rulers that occupied the Punjab. They achieved an exalted state of deathlessness, which empowered even a handful of Khalsa to fight effectively against overpowering numbers. They emerged as warriors of the highest state, defending the weak and poor, and never using force as an act of aggression. The last battle of Anandpur Sahib ended in a prolonged and brutal siege on the city. The Muslim armies completely surrounded the city and cut it off from outside supplies. The strategy of the Mughals was to tighten the noose of siege on the city until the will of the Sikhs was broken. With the food supplies exhausted, the Sikhs suffered greatly, and food was rationed to 1/4 pound of corn a day. The Sikhs left the fort at night and whenever they could and took supplies from the enemy's camp. Yet even this was not enough. The inhabitants of Anandpur were dying of starvation. The Khalsa stripped the bark off the trees and baked it into bread. They ate all the leaves and flowers which grew on the city walls. As the months passed, the situation became more desperate. When it became clear they couldn't dislodge the Sikhs with force or siege, the enemy generals formed a plan to induce the Guru to leave Anandpur by trickery. Aurangzeb sent a message to the Guru assuring him a safe passage if he and his army would leave the city. He sent a signed copy of the Quran and pledged it upon its pages that his promise was genuine. The Guru knew this was a trap and that the Mughals would ambush him, but on repeated requests of the family and his advisors, Guru Gobind Singh agreed to leave the fort. In the darkness of the night, ravaged by a violent storm on December 20th, 1704, Guru Gobind Singh, his family and followers left the fort of Anandpur. When the Sikhs were mid-river, the imperial armies betrayed their promise and attacked them from behind. There was hard fighting in that darkness and the cold rain. Hundreds of brave Sikhs were killed in the battle. And in the fighting and confusion, Guru Gobind Singh's family was split up in the darkness.
Chamkaur. As the sun rose, Guru Gobind Singh and his 2 older sons, Baba Ajit Singh and Baba Jujhar Singh, rode together with a group of about 40 Sikhs with the entire Mughal army in hot pursuit. They took shelter in a small mud fort at Chamkaur and fortified it in preparations for battle. The Guru posted his men strategically on the roof, doors and windows. It was the firm resolve of each of the 46 to fight to the last drop of blood, as the enemy had amassed 100,000 troops on the horizon. In small groups, the Sikhs went out from the small fort of Chamkaur to delay the full attack of the enemy. They fought bravely and amazed the Mughal soldiers with their skill and effectiveness, holding off the advancing troops. Swirling and slashing their swords, the few Sikhs wreaked mighty destruction amongst the enemy. The strategy worked, and a band of 46 held the fort against the huge army for the entire day. The Guru's son, Baba Ajit Singh, who was then 17 years old, placed his head on his father's feet and asked permission to go forward and fight the enemy. Guru Gobind Singh understood that this was their last meeting on earth. Smiling, that eternally loving father gave permission for his son to enter the battlefield. Baba Ajit Singh took with him 5 brave Sikhs and charged out from the safety of the fort. He fought with a fierce fury, and Mughals fell beneath his powerful steel. When his arrows were spent and his sword was broken, Ajit Singh spitted the enemy with his spear. When his spear snapped, the enemy made a fresh attack and mortally wounded him. The Guru, fighting from the roof, said, "O God, it is you who sent him, and he has died fighting for his faith. The trust you have given me has been restored back to you." Baba Jujhar Singh, the Guru's second son, aged 14, on seeing his brother's brave fight, could not restrain himself and asked his father's permission to join the battle. The youth took 5 more Sikhs with him, and like his brother before him, created havoc among the seasoned enemy soldiers. It is written that Baba Jujhar Singh made his way through the Mughal army as a crocodile through a stream. The enemy fell like rain in the monsoon until the beautiful young boy, Baba Jujhar Singh, also succumbed to the overwhelming numbers. The few remaining Sikhs came to Guru Gobind Singh and petitioned the Guru to leave the fort and let them stay and contend with the enemy. If at least the Guru survived, then the seed of Sikh Dharma would live on. The Guru was reluctant to leave his men in the heat of battle, but the Sikhs replied, "Beloved Guruji, we're not making a request. We're 5 Sikhs. By the power given to us on Baisakhi Day, we are giving you a Gurmata, which must be obeyed. You must leave this place." In the morning, the Mughals made a full assault on the little fort of Chamkaur. The Sikhs fought bravely and they inflicted great loss on the enemy. But eventually, the vastly superior numbers of the Mughals prevailed. They thought they had finally killed the Guru, but they were sorely disappointed to realize that Guru Gobind Singh had once again outsmarted them.
Sirhind. During the crossing of the river Sirsa, when the Mughal armies ambushed the Guru, the younger sons of Guru Gobind Singh, Baba Zorawar Singh, aged 9, and Baba Fateh Singh, aged 7, were separated from the group in confusion. They walked with their grandmother, Mata Gujari. By the morning, they were captured by Wazir Khan, the cruel governor of Sirhind. In Sirhind, they were imprisoned in a tower that was unbearably cold in deep December. It was a barren cell with no cots or mats, just a pile of straw for comfort. In the morning, the soldiers came to bring them to face with Wazir Khan. When they stood before Khan, even then he was struck with their beauty. He offered to spare their lives if they would convert to Islam. If not, he proclaimed, they would be killed. Baba Zorawar Singh said in a loud voice, "My father is Guru Gobind Singh, my grandfather is Guru Tegh Bahadur, and my great-grandfather is Guru Har Gobind. Death means nothing to me. Our death will fan the flames that will drive all tyrants from this land." Their bravery and insolence in court shocked the Khan. With a cold heart, he ordered their execution. A soldier led way for both Sahibzadas. A huge crowd had collected and expressed their shock at the murder of such innocent ones. "What crimes have these children committed?" cried one. "How cruel and inhumane!" exclaimed another. "They are brave sons of their brave father," said another. The Sahibzadas were brought to a spot where a wall was being raised. Both of them were made to stand side by side. They started reciting Japji while the wall went up, brick by brick. When the wall reached their chests, they were again offered life if they would convert to Islam. Lifting his head high, Baba Fateh Singh said, "We shall not give up our faith. We have taken the amrit of the double-edged sword, so what do we care for death?" The wall went higher and higher until both Sahibzadas became unconscious. At the tender age of 7 and 9, the two brothers died. Tears flowed from the eyes of onlookers who watched this tragedy. Horrible, for even this regime was known for persecution. They cried out in dismay, "What cruelty! Who shall answer for this crime?" Mata Gujari breathed her last on hearing the heartbreaking news, and a wave of anguish gripped the country as the reports of the martyrdom of the Sahibzadas spread. Guru Gobind Singh was told of the death of his young sons, and he listened with an emotionless face, but with a weeping heart. He took an arrow and thrust it into the ground and pulled out a bush. He said,
"Such a tragedy will not go unnoticed in God's court. Like this weed, the Mughal Raj will be uprooted." Zafarnama. Guru Gobind Singh wrote a beautiful letter to Aurangzeb, known as the Zafarnama, which means the letter of victory. He chastised the emperor for his cruelty, his falsehood, and his deceit, explaining the Sikh code of warfare and exposing Aurangzeb for his corrupt morality. In the eloquent Zafarnama, Guru Gobind Singh wrote, "When you swore an oath on Muhammad and called the word of God to witness, you should have kept that promise. If the Prophet himself were present here, I would make it my special duty to inform him of your treachery. Even though my 4 beautiful sons were killed, the Khalsa remains behind like a coiled snake. What brave deed is it to quench these few sparks of life? You are merely stoking a raging fire." When Aurangzeb received the Zafarnama, he was aghast with the bare truth of what evil he had done. Fearing God's judgment, he lifted the death warrant on the Sikhs and declared an end to persecution. He pledged to meet with Guru Gobind Singh, but Aurangzeb died before that came to pass.
Abchal Nagar. After the death of the cruel Emperor Aurangzeb, Guru Gobind Singh met with Bahadur Shah, the Mughal successor to the throne. The Guru moved through India, ministering to the communities of the Sikhs. He made a camp south of Bombay in the area of Nanded, on the banks of the river Godavari. The Guru arrived in Nanded in the late summer of 1707 with an army of 300 Khalsa. Here he set up his camp and it became known as the city of Abchal Nagar, the eternal city of God. Happy with the seclusion and the peace of the area, the Guru used to sit in prayer and meditation on a small stone platform near the river. But even as the Sangat rejoiced, Guru Gobind Singh knew something that his Khalsa did not. The time for his departure from the earth was near. Although the Guru spent his days again with the Khalsa, he made his final preparations to die. Having accomplished his objectives on this earth and taken care of his loved ones and secured the future of the Khalsa spiritual nation, Guru Gobind Singh longed to return back to his eternal home with his eternal Lord. One night as he slept, an assassin crept through the guard and stabbed the Guru, mortally wounding him. The Sikhs were awestruck at what happened so unexpectedly, and they were overcome with grief. But he counseled them not to worry and forbade them to grieve. O beloved Khalsa, the immortal God's will can never be resisted. He who takes birth must assuredly someday die. But they knelt at his feet and cried, "O Guruji, what will become of us? Who will succeed you and who will stand as our Guru?" And the Guru replied,
"I entrust you to the immortal God himself. Ever remain under his protection alone. Wherever there are 5 Khalsa together, know that I am present in the midst of them. He who serves them serves me."
Going to the city Guru Saaheb Jee, he placed 5 paise and a coconut and bowed before the Shabad Guru. He said to his Khalsa,
"The order has come from the undying Lord to now follow the Khalsa Panth. The hukum given to all Sikhs is to believe in the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib as their Guru. If you hold the Siddhi Guru Granth as your Guru, all of my blessings will be showered upon you. Whenever you wish to see my face, look to the Shabad, the word of Guru, and you will find me." Jyoti Jyot. The Guru commanded that a funeral pyre of sandalwood be built and be screened by tent walls. In the last watch of the night on October 7th, 1708, Guru Gobind Singh asked all of his Sikhs to return to their homes, with the exception of one Sevadar. The Guru dressed royally in a gold chola with sword, shield, bow, and a quiver of arrows. He wore a string of pearls, and on his turban he wore his khalgi, a beautiful feather plume. It is written that as soon as the Sikhs left, the Guru mounted his horse and rode by himself into the pyre. Not yet 42 years old, Guru Gobind Singh, the King of Kings, breathed his last breath. The grief of the Khalsa was unendurable, But remembering Guru's last words, they bowed before the Sri Guru Granth Sahib with total dedication and devotion. Prasad was distributed far and wide as the news spread through the Khalsa Panth. Guru Gobind Singh is with us even today as the protector of the Khalsa, and never fails to come to the aid of those in need who call upon him. The Shabad Guru, the true Guru, the Sri Guru Granth Sahib is the great and everlasting Guru of the Sikhs. Never again will the Khalsa bow to a man, but only to the word of God, the truth of truths. It is in that purity and glory that Khalsa will live forever. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.
By early 1706, Guru Gobind Singh and the Khalsa had fought devastating battles against the oppression of the cruel Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. In the ultimate act of sacrifice, the 4 sons of Guru Gobind Singh were martyred. The 2 eldest killed fighting in the Battle of Chamkar, and the 2 youngest, ages 7 and 9, were bricked alive by the evil Wazir Khan of Sirhind. But even through this tragedy, the exalted spirit of Guru Gobind Singh still shone like a beacon to guide the Khalsa. In the spring of 1706, Guru Gobind Singh traveled through the villages of Punjab, uplifting the people and bringing light to darkened hearts. The Guru and his Khalsa made their camp near Talwandi Sabo. As word spread that the Guru was in Talwandi Sabo, the Sikhs came from far and wide to be with him. Mata Sundari, the wife of Guru Gobind Singh, came from Delhi and joined the Guru at Damdama Sahib. She rushed to the Guru, touched his feet, and asked, "My true Lord, I don't see my 4 sons in the Sangat here today. Please tell me, my holy husband, where have my children gone?" Slowly, the Guru told her that their children had been killed at Chamkar and Sirhind. Mataji wept a river of tears. The Guru consoled her by saying, "Ajit Singh, Jujar Singh, Zorwar Singh, and Fateh Singh have given their lives for truth and righteousness and have obtained liberation." Having done the work of a Kalpurik, they have now returned home to him. So why should the mother of such heroes weep? Accept God's will as the best of all things. Instead of your 4 children, I present you with all my Sikhs as brave and worthy sons.
The Guru remained at Damdama for many months. For the first time since leaving Anandpur Sahib, he was able to stay in one place undisturbed. Damdama became a spot of reunion, and many old Sikhs came here in search of their beloved Guru. The Khalsa had survived the hardest of times and sprang back to life like spring water from the ground. Under the inspiration of the 10th Master, the Sikhs grew in strength and conviction. During the evacuation of Anandpur Sahib, the holy Adi Granth had been lost in the river when the Sikhs were attacked in the night. Since the Shabad Guru must be returned to the Sikhs, Guru Gobind Singh dictated the entire volume by memory. For the first time, he added the shloks of his father, Guru Tegh Bahadur, to the Granth. Guru Gobind Singh set up a separate tent and worked in meditative solitude. He meditated and recited for long hours without interruption, while Bhai Mani Singh wrote precisely what was spoken. It was during this time, in February 1707, that the cruel and fanatical Emperor Aurangzeb died. His elder son, Bahadur Shah, was fighting a war in Afghanistan. and his younger brother laid claim to the throne. Bahadur Shah hastened back to India to do battle for his inheritance. As Bahadur Shah prepared to fight for the throne of India, he looked on all sides for allies. He had in his employ a scribe and poet named Bhai Nanlal, who for a long time had been a sweet devotee of Guru Gobind Singh. Bhai Nanlal Ji told Bahadur Shah to seek the help of the Guru. With great respect, Bahadur Shah asked for the Khalsa's help. Even though Bahadur Shah was a Mughal, the son of the man who killed his 4 sons and thousands of his Khalsa, Guru Gobind Singh sent him aid. Bhai Dharam Singh led an army of the Khalsa to fight alongside Bahadur Shah at Agra in his bid for the throne of India. The battle raged for 3 days, and Bahadur Shah emerged victorious, the undisputed emperor of all of India. He sent Bhai Dharam Singh north to tell Guru Gobind Singh of the victory, to thank him for his valuable help, and to invite him to Agra. On meeting the emperor at Agra, the Guru was received with great reverence. He was given a robe of honor and a jeweled scarf worth thousands of rupees. Together, the emperor and the Guru discussed and debated many topics, but religion was the foremost. Giving no credence to the beliefs of Islam over that of Hinduism, Guru Gobind Singh spoke with enlightened awareness about the oneness of God and the futility of meaningless religious rituals. He said, "Some people are Hindus, others are Turks, some are Muslims, but you must recognize that there is only one caste, one social class of all humankind. We are made in the image of the one Lord, and one light shines through us all." Although he was bound by his own religious principles, Bahadur Shah was tolerant in religious matters and enlightened by the teachings of the Guru. He greatly enjoyed the company of Guru Gobind Singh, and when he needed to travel to the south to quell an insurrection, Bahadur Shah requested that the Guru travel with him. The Guru agreed, although he traveled in a separate convoy by a parallel route. He made camp south of Bombay in the area of Nanda, on the bank of the river Godavari.
The Guru arrived in Nanda in the late summer of 1707 with an army of 300 Khalsa. Here he set up his camp, and it became a city known as Apachal Nagar, the eternal city of God. Happy with the seclusion and peace of the area, the Guru used to sit in prayer and meditation on a small stone platform near the river. Soon after arriving, Guru Gobind Singh set out one morning and arrived at the ashram of Madho Das, a Bairagi hermit who was renowned for his supernatural powers. When he arrived, he found the Bairagi absent, so the Guru sat upon the saint's meditation couch and asked the people there to serve food to him and his followers. They refused to do so without their master present, so the Guru's men took whatever food was available and cooked and served their own meal. It was an unpardonable sacrilege to behave this way, and the people ran to Madho Das to tell him. He was beside himself with anger and said, "I shall show him what it is to insult me in this way." He concentrated his mind, recited a mantra, and then appeared to be exerting his utmost strength to lift a heavy weight. He tried and tried, then shook his head and gave up. He had been trying with his psychic ability to overturn the couch on which the Guru was sitting, but he wasn't powerful enough. The yogi knew that he had finally found someone greater than him, his master, the one who would take him from darkness to light. When he arrived at the ashram and found Guru Gobind Singh there, he fell at his feet, proclaiming that he was the Guru's slave, his Banda. The Guru instructed Banda in the tenets of Sikhism. He was so in love with Guru Gobind Singh, Banda took Amrit from his hands and received the name Guru Baksh Singh, although he became widely known as Banda Singh Bahadur. The Guru's teachings soon had their effect, and Banda longed to be in the battlefield as a saint soldier of Guru Gobind Singh. After some time, the Guru called Banda to him and spoke to him about the future. In the town of Sirhind, where the young sons of Guru Gobind Singh had been bricked alive, a grave injustice was still uncorrected. He asked that Banda Singh Bahadur revitalize the Khalsa army in Punjab and lead them back to Sirhind to meet Wazir Khan in a fair fight. Banda agreed, and the Guru presented him 5 gold-tipped arrows from his own quiver. With these arrows, the Khalsa would know that Banda was acting under the authority of the Guru himself. With a few loyal Sikhs of Guru Gobind Singh, Banda Singh Bahadur set out for Punjab. Along the way, he gathered an army of the Khalsa, and once again the martial spirit and energy flowed through the Sangat of Punjab. Baba Banda Singh Bahadur continued his military campaign in Punjab until he was eventually captured. He was brutally tortured and killed by the local Mughal ruler in 1715.
The city of Huzur Sahib, the holy Abachal Nagar, soon grew into a thriving city pulsing with martial spirit of Guru Gobind Singh. A huge congregation hall was built where the Sangat gathered daily to hear the Guru speak. There was a regular flow of divine power which gave fresh vigor and life to withered hearts. But even as the Sangat rejoiced, Guru Gobind Singh knew something that his Khalsa did not. The time for his departure from this earth was near. He sent for Mata Sahib Kaur, the mother of the Khalsa, and requested that she go to Delhi and live with Mata Sundari, the Guru's wife. He knew in his heart that she could not bear the shock of his death. At first, Mataji refused to leave. She had taken a vow never to take her daily food without first seeing the Guru, so how could she leave? Guru Gobind Singh then gave her 6 weapons which had belonged to his grandfather, Guru Hargobind Sahib. He told her to look at them whenever she wished to see his face. With reluctance, Mata Sahib Kaur left for Delhi with several Gursikhs, including Bhai Harmeet Singh. One day, an Afghan Pathan came to the Guru's presence and bowed low before the Guru, and the Guru motioned for him to sit in the front. He sat for some time, and when he rose to leave, the Guru gave him 5 rupees as charity. The next day he came to the Darbar. This time, Guru Gobind Singh motioned for him to sit near him and asked that prasad be given to him. No one is sure who the Afghani was, but many think that he was an agent of Wazir Khan, who was still bent on eliminating the Sikhs. That night, as the Guru lay sleeping, the Afghan Pathan soundlessly slipped through the watch of the Guru's bodyguard. Silently, he moved through the shadows. When the time was right, he attacked, stabbing him 3 times with a dagger. The Guru always slept with his sword at hand, and with a single arching blow he killed the assassin. But the Guru had already been injured. His wounds were deep and jagged, and they bled profusely. On hearing this tragedy, Emperor Bahadur Shah sent the most skilled surgeon in his employ to the Guru, an Englishman named Dr. Cole. So expertly did he suture the Guru's wounds that he was nearly totally healed within 2 weeks. Although the Guru again spent his days with the Khalsa, he made his final preparations to die. Having accomplished his objectives on this earth, taken care of his loved ones, and secured the future of the Khalsa, Guru Gobind Singh longed to return back home to his eternal Lord. Bahadur Shah checked daily on the Guru's improving condition and sent him many gifts and offerings. One day he sent a messenger with various weapons to please the Guru, including 2 sturdy bows. The Singhs tried and tried to string the handsome bows, but they were too stiff for anyone to manage. Taking the bow in one hand, Guru Gobind Singh bent and strung the bow in one swift motion, to the amazement of the Sangat. As he held the bow over his head for the Sangat to see, a red blood stain rapidly spread over the blue silk of his chola. The incredible strain of bending the bow burst open the stitching of his stab wounds, and he began to bleed uncontrollably. Doctors were immediately summoned, but with all their skill, they could not stop the bleeding. The invincible Guru had himself chosen the time to die.
The Sikhs were awestruck at what had happened so unexpectedly and were overcome with grief as they watched the life prana slip out of the King of all kings. He counseled them not to worry and forbade them to grieve for him. "O beloved Khalsa," he said, "the immortal God's will can never be resisted. He who takes birth must assuredly someday die." But they knelt at his feet and cried, "What will become of us? Who will succeed you and stand as our Guru?" The Guru replied, "I entrust you to the immortal God himself. Ever remain under his protection alone. Wherever there are 5 Khalsa together, know that I am in the midst of them. He who serves them serves me." Going to the city Guru Granth Sahib, he placed 5 pice and a coconut and bowed before the Shabad Guru. He said to his Khalsa, "The order has come from the undying Lord to now follow the Khalsa Panth. The hukam given to all Sikhs is to believe in the city Guru Granth Sahib as their Guru. If you hold the city Guru Granth as your Guru, all of my blessings will be showered upon you. Whenever you wish to see my face, look to the Shabad, the word of Guru, and you will find me." The Guru commanded that a funeral pyre of sandalwood be built and be screened by tent walls. In the last watch of the night, on October 7th, 1708, Guru Gobind Singh asked all of his Sikhs to return to their homes with the exception of one Sevadar. The Guru dressed royally in a gold chola with sword, shield, bow, and a quiver of arrows. He wore a string of pearls, and on his turban he wore a kalgi, a beautiful feather plume. It is written that as soon as the Sikhs left, the Guru mounted his horse and rode by himself to the pyre. Not yet 42 years old, Guru Gobind Singh, the King of Kings, breathed his last breath. The grief of the Khalsa was unendurable, but remembering the Guru's last words, they bowed before the city Guru Granth Sahib with total dedication and devotion. Prasad was distributed far and wide as the news spread through the Khalsa Panth. Mata Sundarikar returned to Delhi, and from there led the Khalsa with purity and strength through dark and difficult days. Under her direction, Bhai Mani Singh traveled far and wide, gathering the original writings of the 10th Guru. After years of hard labor, they compiled the Siddhi Dasam Granth, preserving the voice of Guru Gobind Singh for all times. For more than 40 years, until her death in 1747, Mata Sundarikar was the leader, the inspiration, and the guiding light of the Panth. Guru Gobind Singh is with us even today as the protector of the Khalsa and never fails to come to the aid of those in need who call upon him. The Shabad Guru, the true Guru, the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib is the great and everlasting Guru of the Sikhs. Never again will the Khalsa bow to a man, but only to the word of God, the truth of truths. It is in that purity and glory that the Khalsa will live forever.
The 52 hukams serve as a code of conduct for the Khalsa Panth. Hukam Pehla, Kirt Dharam di Karni. Make an honest living. Hukam Duja, Daswand Dena. Donate a tenth of your earnings. Hukam Tija, Gurbani Kant Karni. Memorize Gurbani. Hukam Chautha, Amrit Vele Jagna. Wake up early morning. Hukam Panjma, Piar Naal Gursikhan di Seva Karni. Serve Sikhs of the Guru with love. Hukam Cheva, Gursikhan Pason Gurbani de Arth Samjhne. Study the meanings of Gurbani from learned Gursikhs. Hukam Satma, Panj Kakaran di Rehat Drid Rakhni. Remain steadfast in the discipline of wearing 5 kakars at all time. Hukam Atma, Shabd da Abhyas Karna. Practice reciting Shabads. Hukam Nawa, Dhyan Sat Sarup Satgur da Karna. Concentrate on the true form of the true Guru. Hukam Daswa, Sahib Shri Guru Granth Saheb Jee nu Manana. Believe in and accept the true Guru, Guru Granth Saheb Jee. Hukam 11ਵਾਂ, ਸਭ ਕਾਰਜਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਰੰਭ ਵੇਲੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਨੀ. When undertaking any task, first perform a humble supplication. ਹੁਕਮ 12ਵਾਂ, ਜੰਮਣ ਮਰਨ ਵਿਆਹ ਆਨੰਦ ਸਮੇਂ ਜਪਜੀ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੜਾਹ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਨੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਅਤੇ ਹਜ਼ੂਰੀ ਗ੍ਰੰਥੀ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦਾ ਵਰਤਾਰਾ ਵਰਤਾ ਕੇ ਉਪਰੰਤ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਤਾ ਦੇਣਾ. Make and distribute ਕੜਾਹ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ on auspicious occasions. ਹੁਕਮ 13ਵਾਂ, ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਕੜਾਹ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਵਰਤਦਾ ਰਹੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਅਡੋਲ ਬੈਠੀ ਰਹੇ. Until Kara Prasad has been served to everyone, the congregation should remain seated. Hukam 14ਵਾਂ, ਵਿਆਹ ਆਨੰਦ ਬਿਨਾ ਗ੍ਰਹਿਸਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ. Do not engage in physical relationship before marriage. ਹੁਕਮ 15ਵਾਂ, ਪਰਾਈ ਇਸਤਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਧੀ ਭੈਣ ਘਰ ਜਾਣਨੀ. Other than your wedded wife, consider all women as your mothers, sisters or daughters. ਹੁਕਮ 16ਵਾਂ, ਇਸਤਰੀ ਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਿਟਕਾਰਨਾ. Do not subject your wife to cursing or verbal abuse. ਹੁਕਮ 17ਵਾਂ, ਜਗਤ ਝੂਠ ਤੰਬਾਕੂ ਵਿਖਿਆ ਦਾ ਤਿਆਗ ਕਰਨਾ. Discard worldly ways, falsehood and poisonous tobacco. ਹੁਕਮ 18ਵਾਂ, ਰਹਿਤਵਾਨ ਤੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਕਰਨੀ. Congregate with those Sikhs of the Guru who have spiritual discipline and recite the divine name. ਹੁਕਮ 19ਵਾਂ, ਜਿਤਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਹੋਣ ਉਹ ਕਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਲਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ. Don't be lazy in your work. ਹੁਕਮ 20ਵਾਂ, ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਕਥਾ ਅਤੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਰੋਜ਼ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਅਤੇ ਕਰਨਾ. Listen and do kirtan and Gurbani discourses daily. ਹੁਕਮ 21ਵਾਂ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ, ਚੁਗਲੀ ਅਤੇ ਈਰਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ. Do not slander, gossip or be jealous of others. ਹੁਕਮ 22ਵਾਂ ਧਨ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਕੁਲਜਾਤ ਦਾ ਮਾਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ Do not take pride in wealth, youth and caste. ਹੁਕਮ 23ਵਾਂ ਮੱਤ ਉੱਚੀ ਅਤੇ ਸੁੱਚੀ ਰੱਖਣੀ Keep your intellect and religious discipline high and pure. ਹੁਕਮ 24ਵਾਂ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ Always do good deeds. ਹੁਕਮ 25ਵਾਂ ਬੁੱਧ ਬਲੀ ਦਾ ਦਾਤਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਨਾ Recognize Waheguru as the giver of intellect and strength. ਹੁਕਮ 26ਵਾਂ ਕਸਮ ਸਹੁੰ ਚੁੱਕਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਇਤਬਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ Do not trust a person who swears on something. ਹੁਕਮ 27ਵਾਂ ਸੁਤੰਤਰ ਵਿਚਰਨਾ Be independent. ਹੁਕਮ 28ਵਾਂ ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ Study politics. ਹੁਕਮ 29ਵਾਂ ਸ਼ਤਰੂ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਦਾਮ ਭੇਦ ਆਦਿਕ ਉਪਾਅ ਵਰਤਨੇ ਉਪਰੰਤ ਯੁੱਧ ਕਰਨਾ ਧਰਮ ਹੈ With an enemy, practice the various techniques of diplomacy. Failing this, battle is justified. ਹੁਕਮ 30ਵਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਘੋੜਸਵਾਰੀ ਦਾ ਅਭਿਆਸ ਕਰਨਾ Practice the knowledge of weaponry and horse riding. ਹੁਕਮ 31ਵਾਂ ਦੂਜੇ ਧਰਮਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਪੁਸਤਕਾਂ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਪਰ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਦ੍ਰਿੜ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ Study the books and knowledge of other faiths but keep faith in Guru's teachings and the timeless being. ਹੁਕਮ 32ਵਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਨੇ Take on the teachings of the Guru. ਹੁਕਮ 33ਵਾਂ ਰਹਿਰਾਸ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਕੇ ਖੜੋ ਕੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਨੀ After ਰਹਿਰਾਸ ਪਾਠ do ਅਰਦਾਸ standing up. ਹੁਕਮ 34ਵਾਂ ਸੌਣ ਸਮੇਂ ਸੋਹਲੇ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਨਾ Before sleeping recite ਸੋਹਲਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹੁਕਮ 35ਵਾਂ ਕੇਸ ਨੰਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੱਖਣੇ Do not keep your hair uncovered. ਹੁਕਮ 36ਵਾਂ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਬੁਲਾਉਣਾ ਅੱਧਾ ਨਹੀਂ Call things by their full name, not half. ਹੁਕਮ 37ਵਾਂ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੀਣੀ ਪਿਆਉਣੀ Do not drink or serve alcohol. ਹੁਕਮ 38ਵਾਂ ਪਾਦਨੀ ਸਿਰ ਮੁੰਨੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਨਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਵਣੀ ਉਸ ਘਰ ਦੇਵਣੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਹੋਵੇ Do not give a daughter's hand to a clean shaven. Give her hand in a house where the timeless being Sikhi exists. ਹੁਕਮ 39ਵਾਂ ਸਭ ਕਾਰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਤਾਬਿਆ ਤੇ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਕਰਨੇ Do all work in accordance with ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਹੁਕਮ 40ਵਾਂ ਚੁਗਲੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਿਗਾੜਨਾ Do not cause ruin of anyone's business by gossiping. ਹੁਕਮ 41ਵਾਂ ਕੌੜਾ ਬਚਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਹਿਰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੁਖਾਉਣਾ Speaking bitterly, do not hurt someone's heart. ਹੁਕਮ 42ਵਾਂ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਯਾਤਰਾ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਕਰਨੀ Make pilgrimages to Gurdwaras. ਹੁਕਮ 43ਵਾਂ ਬਚਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਪਾਲਣਾ Fulfill all promises made. ਹੁਕਮ 44ਵਾਂ ਅਤਿਥੀ ਪਰਦੇਸੀ ਲੋੜਵੰਦ ਦੁਖੀ ਅਪੰਗ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਦੀ ਯਥਾ ਸ਼ਕਤ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨੀ Do selfless service for guests, foreigners, the needy and the troubled. ਹੁਕਮ 45ਵਾਂ ਧੀ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਧਨ ਵਿਕ ਕਰ ਜਾਣਨਾ Recognize the wealth of daughter as poison. ਹੁਕਮ 46ਵਾਂ ਦਿਖਾਵੇ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨਾ Do not become a show-off Sikh. ਹੁਕਮ 47ਵਾਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਸਵਾਸਾਂ ਸੰਗ ਨਿਭਾਣੀ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰ ਸਮਾਨ ਜਾਣ ਅਦਬ ਕਰਨਾ With every breath live as a Sikh who has uncut hair. Know this case to be equal to the Guru and give it to the utmost respect. ਹੁਕਮ 48ਵਾਂ चोरी, यारी, ठगी, धोखा, दगा नहीं करना. Refrain from engaging in theft, adultery, fraud, deceit and betrayal. हुक्म 49 गुरसिख दा इतबार करना. Believe in a गुरसिख. हुक्म 50 झूठी गवाही नहीं देनी. Do not give a false testimony. हुक्म 51 झूठ नहीं कहना, बोलना. Do not lie. हुक्म 52 लंगर प्रसाद एक रस वरताना. Distribute langar and prasad equally. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the voice echoed in the air, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said, Dhan Sikhi, Dhan Sikhi, Dhan Sikhi. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said 3 times. Why? Karke 3 hun Sikh shaheediyan pa gaye ne. Because 3 Sikhs have now become shaheed, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said, Dhan Sikhi, Dhan Sikhi, Dhan Sikhi 3 times. As they have taken Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji out of the cage, the first thing that they've said to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੌਤ ਤੋਂ ਡਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you've just seen 3 of your Sikhs in front of your eyes, tortured and burned, boiled. Aren't you afraid of death? They said to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਮੌਤ ਦੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ what death are you talking about? They said I've spent my whole life singing the songs of death. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you talk to me about death? They said I've gone through my whole life singing about death. I've been telling the world about this death that you're trying to put fear in me about. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ when people would say about death, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I would sing from the top of my voice, ਜੋ ਉਪਜਿਓ ਸੋ ਬਿਨਸੈ ਪਰੋ ਆਜ ਕੇ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ ਲੈ, ਛਾੜ ਸਗਲ ਜੰਜਾਲ. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pachi said, I've been singing about death my whole life. Now you're asking me if I'm afraid of death? As they're singing this, they say the same things to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha. Can they accept Islam? Can they Islam no kabool karo? Can they, but the biggest thing we want actually out of you, one thing that Aurangzeb has always wanted to see out of you, he's wanted to see a karamat, has wanted to see out of you is a miracle. We hear that you can perform great miracles, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji laughed. Can they, how many more miracles do you want to see? You've just saw 3 miracles right in front of your eyes. Bhai Mati Das Ji was smiling, Bhai Mati Das Ji was laughing, each pore of his body was reading the Bani of Guru Nanak Sache Paatshah. What more miracle do you want to see with these eyes? Can they, you put my sekha in a boiling pot of water, you can still hear the words of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji coming out of his mouth. How many more miracles do you want to see? You've just seen Bhai Sati Das Ji, even after dying, even after that breath leaving his body still fell towards my direction. How many more miracles do you want to see, you fools? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha Ji saying to them. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਿਖਾਵਾਂ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਕਰਾਮਾਤ ਵਿਖਾਓ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਰਾਮਾਤ ਵਿਖਾਲ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ. ਖੈਰ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਆਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ have you got any less wishes? ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸੀਸ ਜੁਦਾ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ before you cut my head off from my body, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I want to have it shanaan. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do a chaunkadi, I'm going to close my eyes. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said, when I close my eyes, I'm going to start to read Japji Sahib the Bani. But when I come to an end and I finish reading Japji Sahib the Bani, he says, how are you going to know? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Pacha said, I'm going to actually bow my head down to Guru Nanak Padshah. He said, I'm going to put my hands together, I'm going to bow my head down. It says, the moment I bow my head down, this says, you do what you need to do, you can then cut my head off. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said. the executioner came and walked towards Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, whose name was Jalaluddin. Jalaluddin, he starts to engage in a conversation with Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji. He goes, you know my work that I do? I'm an executioner. He said, this runs in my family. He said, I'm from a place called Samana. And he goes, even my grandfather, he goes, he did this job too. He goes, my father did this job. He goes, my grandfather did this job. And he goes, it was my grandfather that got your grandfather Shaheed, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah. He goes, it runs in my family, this job does. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji कहते अच्छा कहते एक खानदानी काम है तेरा कहते जलाद होना जलाद, the word for executioner means जलाद. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਲਾਦ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ this runs in your family. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Padshah is saying ਕਹਿੰਦੇ this might run in your family ਕਹਿੰਦੇ but it's a trade that runs in my family too. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Padshah Ji said ਕਹਿੰਦੇ but you know your trade ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you know your trade Jalaluddin ਕਹਿੰਦੇ your trade will one day come to an end. Your trade will not be running forever. You are not going to be executing forever. This is only going to go on for so long. Nobody is going to remember you guys. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Padshah said, but this runs in my family too. My grandfather, my trade of my parwar is that my grandfather is a shaheed. We run a trade of shaheedi, of shaheeds. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj said, but your trade will run out. You will not be executing for the rest of your lives. But let me tell you one thing, but my trade is never going to run out until this Panth remains, until the Sikhs remain, until this Dharti remains, until this world remains. This trade will continue and my Sikhs will keep giving shahidiyan. And Gursikh Pyaro, you can see with your own eyes, this trade didn't run out and it's going to keep going. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Padshah is saying we're going to keep giving our blood. Our blood as it falls upon this earth, is all it's doing is it's making the foundation of Sikhi deeper and deeper and deeper. Because you're actually helping us, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said. The Jalad walks away. Jalaluddin walks away and he starts to sharpen his kirpaan. As he is sharpening his kirpaan and it starts to gleam and it's shining, what is he trying to do? He's trying to scare Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji spoke again. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Padshah is saying, you're sharpening this kirpaan, you're sharpening, it wasn't called a kirpaan, maaf karna, you're sharpening this tegh, you're sharpening this sword. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Padshah said, don't forget you're sharpening that tegh. My name is Tegh Bahadur. You're trying to put fear in me with a tegh. Mera naam hi tegh hai. My name is Tegh. Never forget, O Jalaluddin, such a time came in my life in the 4th battle of my father. I actually had privilege to fight alongside my father, Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Sache Padshah. When I was in my ripening youth, one day that tegh that you are sharpening, that tegh that you're trying to fear me with, I had that tegh in my hand. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖੀ ਓ ਜਲਾਲਦੀਨਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ remember one thing you executioner, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਦੇਗ ਚਲਾਉਣੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇਗ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਖਾਣੀ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ remember one thing, if I know how to use the sword, I also know how to take the sword. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I am ready for your sword. Gursikh Pyaro, ਉੱਥੇ ਐਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਹੋਇਆ. Exactly this happened.
Welcome to the SeekNet Stories. Download the app to enjoy them all. I really like SeekNet Stories. I can't wait to hear this one.
Guru Tegh Bahadur gives his head. India had come to very dark times. The emperor was a cruel man who killed his older brother so he could rule. He was unkind to his own children and starved his father to death. He did everything for the sake of power. He was feared by his subjects and did not have any love for people of other religions. Even most Muslims didn't like him. He asked his advisors,
"What do I have to do to gain the trust of my fellow Muslims?"
Sire, there is only one way to gain the trust of all Muslims.
What is that?
That is by converting all Hindus to become Muslims.
If they do not love me, then I cannot rule them. I will do whatever it takes.
Destroy Hinduism from the root. The center for Hindu priests is in the land of Kashmir. Convert them first. Once they are Muslim, all others will follow.
No, that's no good. I have an idea. We will convert the priests of the Kashmir Valley first. Then everyone will follow their example. Then the whole of India will have one perfect religion. God is great.
My liege, you are a great ruler.
Yes. Now, write up some orders. I will sign them all.
Aurangzeb issued orders to give offerings to his holy city to show how religious he was.
I am just God's humble servant.
He ordered all the musical instruments destroyed.
May music never be heard again.
He introduced a tax for all non-Muslims.
Collect the holy tax from all non-believer infidels. God is great.
He also made orders to convert Hindus to Islam.
If a man converts to our religion, give him money. If a woman converts, give her half as much money.
He offered position, land, and money to anyone who converted.
I will be famous in history, a great servant of God. Sher Afghan Khan, you are my governor in Kashmir. We must focus there.
As the governor of the Kashmir Valley, I will further the cause of our religion. All the Hindu priests are under my power. They will change to our religion or die. God is great.
Many Hindus refused to convert, and they were killed. Fear spread all over India like a dark cloud. One pundit prayed from the bottom of his heart.
Holy gods and goddesses, I am being forced to turn against you. Or I will be killed. I cannot betray my faith in you. What can I do? Please save me. Save us all. Save us from this oppression.
He had a vision. A heavenly voice spoke to him.
The gods and goddesses cannot help. Guru Nanak is the spiritual king in this dark age. The ninth Nanak is now seated on the throne. Go to him. He will protect your religion and your honor.
So he and all the other pundits journeyed to Anandpur to meet Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji.
Welcome, friends. Everyone is welcome in the house of Guru Nanak. You men look very sad.
They told him of all the horrible things that were happening.
temples are being destroyed. Even Gurdwaras are being destroyed. They have collected a huge pile of sacred Hindu threads from those who have been killed or converted. Who knows how many of us have been killed? We have done nothing to deserve this. If we do not convert, we will die too. But how can we give up our faith? We have come to you for help. Save us from this tragedy, this despair.
The Guru felt how these kind-hearted men were so sad. He felt what a difficult situation they were in. But just then, the Guru's son walked in. Gobind Rai was about 8 years old. He saw all of this sadness. He hugged his father and asked,
Pitaji, why are these kind men so sad?
My beloved son, the emperor is forcing them to give up their religion under threat of death. There is no end to their misery.
What is the solution?
These rulers, they're acting like animals. Their hearts are frozen. They need to be softened. Their hearts need to be warmed. What is required is the sacrifice of a holy soul.
Dear Pitaji, in this dark age, who is more holy than you? Go, offer yourself, save them.
My son.
Guru Tegh Bahadur knew what needed to happen, and he welcomed it as God's will. Guruji had a message sent to the emperor.
Emperor Aurangzeb, the 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur, is now seated on the throne of great Baba Nanak. He is our leader now, and he has a message for you. He is the protector of the faithful and savior of humanity.
What is the message?
If you can convince the Guru to join your religion, then all of his Sikhs will convert. All of us Hindus will convert as well.
All the Sikhs and Hindus are going to convert? This is like a dream come true. God is great.
Guruji was summoned to Delhi, and on his honor he went. On the way to Delhi, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji shared the Naam with all people. The words of the Guru were welcomed, just like water is welcome in a desert.
This world is not real. It is a picture, like in a dream. The only thing that is real is truth, which lies beyond what we see. Give up your life, but never give up your faith.
When the Guru finally made it to Delhi, the emperor tried to convince him to give up his religion.
Become Muslim, and you will be a famous and great priest in my court. You will be rich and have everything your heart desires.
My heart desires me to live just as God wills me to.
But I'm doing God's will. The Most High God came to me in a vision. And so now I have to convert the whole world to be Muslim.
I don't know what God you are talking about. But if the one God wanted only one religion, then why did he create more than one religion in the first place? Everything that happens is in the will of the Creator, and we must learn to live in that will and follow it. Neither you, nor I, nor anyone can change it. The Divine has willed that there will be Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs.
The Hindus worship statues. This is an utter damnable insult to God, and it must be stopped.
I do not believe in idol worship either, but everyone is a child of God, and everyone should be free to worship in their own way.
Well, leader of the Sikhs, if you're such a man of God, then you should do a miracle. Men of God can do miracles.
I will not do any miracles. To undo what the Creator does is an insult to the heavens. My heart has no greed. I do not care for your positions or wealth. I will not change my religion or way of life. Do whatever you want with me.
The emperor was impressed with the Guru. But that was not enough for him to change his nature.
My liege, the Guru is your enemy.
He is? He is.
If you have mercy on him now, people will think you are weak.
Weak?
He has not converted to Islam, nor performed a miracle as you told him.
Yeah, that heretic!
If you let him live, his life will be an insult to you. You must make an example out of him.
And that I shall do!
He became angry that the Guru would not convert or perform a miracle.
Take him and torture him until he submits!
The Guru was tortured. But he didn't shake a single bit. In fact, he looked happy.
O Lord, your will is sweet to me.
One of the Guru's Sikhs was slowly and painfully tortured to death in front of the Guru's eyes. But nothing could change Guruji. All the Guru sees is the hand of God at work. His life was almost over. He was tortured and in chains. And even then, he wrote divine poetry.
Every moment not praising God in your heart and with your breath, that moment is wasted. Says Nanak, O my soul, love the one like a fish loves the water.
A servant was sent to the Guru's house.
Tell my family, my son and my Sikhs, not to worry for my life. These rulers became great from good actions in their past lives, but they are destroying their legacy with their wrong actions now. If they spare my life, their empire will last long. But since the ruler has set himself to do bad deeds, this empire will begin to crumble. My body will die soon. It is not a bad thing. Let us all be happy with God's plan.
When the servant arrived at the Guru's house, he told them what the Guru said. He also showed them the Guru's poetry. The young Gobind Rai read one of the lines.
My strength is gone. I am bound down. I cannot do anything at all. Says Nanak, help me now, one Creator. You are my only support.
Gobind Rai smiled.
My strength has come, my bonds are broken. I can do everything. Says Nanak, everything is in your hands, Creator. You alone can save me.
The messenger returned to the Guru and shared Gobind Rai's poetry.
My son.
While the heavens were shifting the Guruship from father to son, the emperor still tried his tricks.
Tell the Guru, if he converts, he will be given a very high position. He will be happy. If he does not, he will die. That is final.
I will not give up. The threat of death doesn't scare me at all. I am ready to die happily.
It's useless. Just kill him. Chop off his head.
I gladly give my head, but I will never give up my faith.
The Guru bathed in a well nearby. He sat under a beautiful tree to meditate, and he sang Japji.
Ik onkar satnam karta purkh nirbhav nirvair akal murt ajuni.
Then he bowed to God.
O Lord, your will is sweet to me.
And the swordsman severed his head from his shoulders. The Guru's life ended, while a huge crowd sadly watched the scene. The people cried, but the heavens cheered. Just as a raindrop merges in the ocean, his soul merged in the heavens. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji sacrificed his life to stand strong for everybody's freedom. He saved many lives and inspired countless souls. Today, he inspires all of us to stand up for freedom. Many more difficult times were ahead for all Muslims, Hindus and Sikhs who did not like the emperor. But this empire would not last much longer. The 10th Guru now sat on the throne of Baba Nanak.
One Sikh will take on more than 100,000 opponents. On that day, take the name of Gobind.
The Guru came to help all people reach their highest excellence. In the name of Nanak, may all people be in high spirits. May all beings be blessed by God's grace. The time had now come for the gentle Sikhs to take up the sword.
Now I will turn pigeons into hawks.
I knew I was going to like this story. That was awesome. I really like listening to the stories on my iPod. I can't wait until the next SeekNet story comes out.
What you need to understand right now, more than any other time, is that you aren't here to simply survive or navigate foreign territory. No, you were made for this moment. Especially when you can start to feel that finish line. You can see the top of the mountain. When you know everything is about to be on the line, your greatest test awaits. But here's one of the greatest secrets I've ever been told. That test is not about right now. It's not even about the future. It's about the foundation you've already been building and trusting yourself to be you. It's all those times you could have said no, but you didn't. How you, like so many others, could have taken that easy road, but you opted for something greater. No, my friend, this obstacle before you is not where you prove or make or create yourself. It's where you simply verify who you already are. cash in on a prize that's been years in the making. It's where you validate the price you've been paying for as long as you can remember. There's a saying that pain is temporary, but quitting is forever. And that simple quote has got me through some of life's greatest trials and tribulations, most challenging times. Because to put it simply, when we're overwhelmed or we're amidst life's chaos, our minds don't scream out, "Oh, hey, you've gotten through this before, and you'll get through it again." They don't remind us of our strengths or reassure us of our dedication. No, when we feel like we are neck deep in chaos, all we see is what we're not. That's why people quit. They become consumed with the dark, forgetting that the answer is a light switch away, overlooking the fact that they already have everything they need. So let this be your reminder that getting across the finish line doesn't require some miracle. Doesn't require you to do what no one in humanity has ever done before. No, all it asks is that you believe in yourself, to hang on when others would let go, to continue forward when you most want to turn back. Because it's always darkest before the dawn, most challenging at the peak. When the roar of the crowd becomes audible and the trophy visible, find it within yourself to rise amidst the pressure, not to shrink, but to expand. To be the most powerful person in your life, you. Because right now, in this moment, you have arrived. Years from now, when you look back, make sure you remember one thing about this moment: that you gave everything you had. That you leaned in on those late nights and those early morning wake-ups. The hours upon hours in the books, the preparation, dedication, and the resilience. That you knew who you were and let it manifest and lead you into the future. See, we all find ourselves at this fork in the road. The one where we have a decision to make. Will I survive or will I thrive? Will I exist or will I truly live? And in the race of life, it's when our hearts pound in our chests, the blood flows through our veins, our lungs cry out for air, our minds beg us to stop, slow down, relax. It's in that moment that we must carry on. We must be our best. We must put all those little pieces together to create our masterpiece. To breathe life into the foundation that you have been standing on this whole time. See, this moment is yours. If you're willing to endure, to hang in just a little bit longer, give just a little bit more, if you're willing to put all of yourself into the task before you, you may just be amazed at what life gives back. You can do this. You're so close to the finish line. Don't you dare give up now.